In this issue of Fashion Classics, we pack our bags and take a trip with some of Milan's best designers for Spring-Summer 2005. Giorgio Armani took a tour of the Orient and collected a new fan along the way.
I'm excited. I'm going to have to sort of conjure up some events to go to, I'm sure, because I'm going to like so many things on the runway today.
Dolce & Gabbana made theirs an African experience, which left one spicy fan eager for the show to start.
I love their clothes. So for me to just come and have a little sneak preview of what they're going to be doing next season is very, very exciting.
Also marching to the African beat, the design team at MaxMara. From Pollini-Rifat Ozbek journeys to the subcontinent of India and shows the colors of Krishna. At Etro, cultures at cross purposes, a mix of African and Indian inspirations. Plus, find out where some of our favorite models spent their summer vacation.
I had the best vacation. I went to Hawaii. I rented a house in Maui, and I've never done anything so fabulous.
Buon Viaggio!
I've never been to one of his shows, and I'm thrilled to be here.
The teenage Pop-Tart was just one of several stars in town to support designer Giorgio Armani.
I think it doesn't get any classier or more classic, elegant. You really feel like a woman when you're wearing Armani.
I love the way he used China in the collection on the little jackets. I think it was just a really wonderful explication of what he does, coupled with his new interest in Shanghai and in the East, which has been a place he's been visiting just this year as he's opened stores there.
Certainly, for Giorgio Armani, the trip that we took on the occasion of our big store opening in Shanghai had its influence. I found a China that is starting to forget its past. China is becoming more Western. It is emerging as a strong and aggressive economic force. I wanted to discover the old China, and therefore I did a collection which was an homage to the China of yesteryear.
Ecco perché è un omaggio alla Cina di una volta.
I think what he did in this collection very nicely was that Hollywood thing, but that Hollywood thing with taste.
He's fantastic. He always does something new and modern, but not too complicated, you know. As cool as his dress is, there's something sort of classic about it as well. You know, it's fashion forward for him a little bit, but still I don't feel crazy or silly. I feel kind of cool and womanly.
It was like a wonderful juxtaposition. You'd have color and then you'd suddenly have a passage of white or a passage of black. So it was very well balanced. I think there's a lot there for women to wear, and particularly his women. For Hollywood, you're not going to look bad in one of those white dresses. You're not going to look bad actually in any of the long evening at the end.
If I'm lucky enough to get to wear Armani, absolutely. It's a no-brainer for me, but I'm excited. I'm going to have to sort of conjure up some events to go to, I'm sure, because I'm going to like so many things on the runway today.
After his shows in Milan, the designer headed stateside for a series of events designed to increase his presence in the U.S. At a book signing in Bergdorf Goodman, loyal fans lined up to see the Milanese maestro. The publication was a joint production with Vanity Fair magazine.
Well, we've done a book with Albert A. Koff in America called Vanity Fair's Oscar Nights, and it's the history of the Oscar party. It was a very expensive book to produce, and Armani was our underwriter. He probably has more of a connection to Hollywood than most other designers.
Ma è successo capitato, non è che ho programmato più di tanto.
It just happened. I did not plan it. It just happened that certain actresses, such as Michelle or Jodie, maybe because it was a period of time when people looked overdone, too heavy, old-fashioned, but they picked up on my way of dressing, which was elegant, but more minimalist.
Secondo una forma minimalista che io in quel momento stavo mandando avanti.
I still have the first black double-breasted blazer that I bought in the 80s, my first Armani piece, and I wore it the other day and got huge compliments. It's just because I was brought up in the very Yankee, New England tradition of of, you buy for something that will last.
Armani's New York fling culminated with a night of stars at which he was honored by the fashion group and presented with a Fashion Superstar Award by Michelle Pfeiffer and Martin Scorsese. We love you, Giorgio Armani.
I've always been attracted to Armani's style back since the early 80s, 81, 82, and have found it to be timeless. It's elegance, proportion, balance, line. And it sort of dresses the world in a way, in an art form.
For Etro, where the paisley is practically the house logo, it's no stretch to seek inspiration from India. But this season, designer Veronica Etro also looked to Africa. The hair and makeup showed a natural elegance.
The makeup is very singular, very sophisticated, and beautiful skin, and a little bit warm cheek, and a little bit light brown in the eyes, like healthy.
For this season, it's a summer. It's very simple because the clothes is very ethnic, and for the hair it's very chic and natural. Okay, like a girl, you go out of your house and you're very, very beautiful with nothing. Okay, like natural.
Veronica combined her African and Indian influences with the technology of a 19th century art form.
In a way, what we wanted to create sort of a Wunderkammer in a wardrobe, in a woman's wardrobe, in a way of picking up different pieces from trips around the world. So you could take inspiration from, yes, Africa, India, but also butterflies, also in a way all the animals, from the music, the rhythm they had in the places, and sort of collecting also very important pieces and mixing them with very easy pieces in a way, a lot of cotton, a lot of sort of crinkled thing as if they were coming out from a suitcase, and the prints, they're shaded in a way as if they took humidity. So it's all the whole world in a way that you're carrying and you're sort of collecting. For example, there's the paisley accessories for this season. We printed them with the Maori sort of tattoos. So it became very, very, in a way, not ethnic, I would say, because we mixed with canvas, but in a way new, a way of geometric, optical, new paisley accessories. In other words, we also always have the paisley prints, but as I said, we sort of faded the background of the prints, so as if it's really more, not old, but in a way it has a feeling, has a story. There is this little chemisette in Georgette embroidered, and then while they're walking in the back, it seems they're having little wings, or the butterfly bag, obviously. We always do this sort of animals every year. Or again, the nargile, the Arabian pipe bag. Yeah. So, or then we have insect brooches with the stones, or, I mean, a bit of everything actually. A lot of accessories, a lot of scarves for the summer, or little brooches, little sunglasses with mirror lenses.
Another designer to seek stimulation from the subcontinent of India was Rifat Ozbek at Pollini. It began backstage with the hair.
Today the hair is inspired by 60s hairdos and Indian princesses. So it's a middle parting, very slick back with a big voluminous bun in the back.
The eyes were just shaded with sort of taupe and grey, and then this sort of silvery white highlight on the lids, just to add that sort of, silver screen sort of cinematic look. We had this sort of heart-shaped 30s lip with a kind of a berry stain purple colour.
For Ozbek, spring was a chance to build on the positive reaction he received for his premiere collection at the house in fall 2004.
That was so encouraging. I was a bit nervous, but now I feel because the reaction from last season was very encouraging. Because it's the summer collection, and I didn't want to go too far away from the winter one. The winter was Bhutan and Tibet, and this is kind of in the same region, a bit further down, and it's all the same area. I didn't want to jump. The silhouettes are kind of similar, and but with different embellishments and different colors. And it's always like I do, it's inspired from 50s and 60s silhouettes, which are very modern. And the shapes are basically sort of A-lines, above the knee, long, and also a couple of quite short evening dresses. We just went south of Asia. It's become more India, and it was inspired by Maharanis and also the colors of monks and Krishna, and it's all the sort of saffron colors and skin colors and oranges, and there's also icy blues with washed sequin fabrics, and so it's very muted and soft. And we have a lot of sort of crocodile skins that dyed into like these sort of orangey, corally Indian summer colors. We have 36 outfits. That's about, if you say 3 per hour, then about 120 to 120 pieces. That's about 36 outfits. Yeah, which is very nice. You know, it shows that the actual collection is bigger, the selling collection, and it's kind of, it's nice, it's quick and done, it gets the message across, and when I used to go to endless fashion shows long, it just gets...
Pollini is a house built on accessories, an area that Ozbek is developing.
Yes, we moved in, I did more shoes, we have a team now, and it's gradually building up, it does a little more bags and more shoes, and yeah. I'm getting more and more involved with it.
Giorgio Armani's relaxed point of view with his Emporio collection inspired cinematic comparisons.
I thought it was so beautiful. It was reminded me of the movie The English Patient. It felt like, you know, you were on the plains of Africa.
The light African touches were combined with evocative Indian influences and then filtered through Armani's unique Italian sensibility.
Emporio era nato semplicemente col voler richiamare
Emporio is a nostalgic trip. I wanted to recall India, colonial India.
Un atteggiamento molto elegante, erano questi...
The elegance, the forgotten images of the empire, the sheiks who served the polo players. This world does not exist anymore.
Dimenticata, perché questo mondo non esiste più.
I did this image in conjunction with the summer season. I wanted a collection that was fresh, not rigid, but rather soft and flowing.
Scioltezza, ecco che è nato da questo.
There were so many lightweight, beautiful pieces that, you know, there were so many layered looks that once you took all those pieces apart, I think you'd find some great things.
I thought the whole blue palette was really fresh, tones of blues, you know, light blues, cornflowers, navies. And he always does that so well, sort of navy and white story, but it was different shades of blue this time, and I thought that was really fresh.
Jolt's a really beautiful color, almost like a watery palette of color, but then I love the white and the tan. It just looks so fresh, you know. The short jackets were really nice. The jackets that just had one button and then kind of cut away at the waist were so flattering. I thought the pants just glided down the runway. There was a lot of really, really amazing pieces.
I loved all the sort of the washed silks. I loved the embellished white story at the end with all the beads on it. I thought it was great. I loved all the accessories he used. I thought it was really fresh. It was really, you know, of the moment with all the light ivories and whites and shades of lights and neutrals. It was very sort of English patient, kind of gave you like an Indian sort of on safari, but in the city.
Beating the African drums was the design team at MaxMara. However, the hair and makeup was anything but tribal.
We are doing a very glossy makeup. sexy with earth. We only use earth color, so it's a very brown copper around the eyes. We will put gloss on top of it. A pretty satin skin. A little bit of blush.
Today at MaxMara, the hair is kind of very loosely pinned up in a bun in the back, but not pinned up in a very neat way. The ends are sticking out and they're kind of hanging over the bun, so it doesn't look too contrived. It looks kind of still young.
On the runway, the African influences were at times literal, but more often reflected the casual ease for which the house is known.
Diciamo che questa collezione è una collezione ispirata.
This is a collection that was inspired by faraway places. It is a mix of traditional tailoring and ethnic looks, where the colors were very important. They were inspired by the colors of Africa, the natural colors of Africa, of the earth and of nature.
I colori stati molto dall'Africa, e I colori naturali dell'Africa, I colori della terra e della natura.
Another very important theme was the prints, a mixture of prints altogether. They were either artisanal or animal prints. However, everything is always very unique. All the items were researched and are very special. This uniqueness is noted on a woman when it is reflected in her clothes. Let's say that it is a return to real things, authentic things. It is an exploration of antique values. However, it is applied in a now manner, so it is modern. Everything that we did of Africa was from our imaginations. Our imaginations inspired us. We all have an image and a dream of Africa in our minds.
I had the best vacation. I went to Hawaii. I rented a house in Maui. And I've never done anything so fabulous on a vacation, but this year I decided that's it. I'm going somewhere really great. And we did like these hiking trips up mountains and went into waterfalls and swam. I just never seen anything like it.
I went away with my husband to Spain, and then I was in my house in the country in England, riding.
I have a home in the countryside in Yorkshire, so it was a very relaxing summer.
I went for months in Vietnam. I did everything. I did from south to north. I did Tribu, I did the coast, the seaside, I did the lagoon, everything, the river. I mean, we pretty much see all that we had to see around Vietnam, which is very nice.
I did a big trip. It was really good. I went to Greece for 2 weeks. It was really good. After I flew to America, which was amazing. I went to Big Sur for a few days. I went to San Francisco, where I never went there before, and I went to Wyoming.
I was in Turkey. I have a house in the south of Turkey, so I go there.
Cannes Bay, because I had such a lot of work, so just my wife and I and 2 friends, and on the rock just in front of Cannes.
You know, I didn't really have one. I was in New York. My vacation was spent at home. It was great just being on my rooftop, sort of hanging out. It was really nice. It was a bit stinky, but I can live with it.
My vacation that summer was in Sardinia with my new boat. I had a wonderful time with my animal, because I bring also my animal in my new boat.
I think the thing that's so fun about Dolce is, you know, when you go into the show, you start and you have to adjust your eye.
For fashion followers in Milan, adjusting to the African inspiration at Dolce & Gabbana was not such a stretch.
But very quickly, because of the power of the presentation and the all-encompassing vision of that world, with that sexy woman and that buoyant music and everything, you're sort of swept away, and by the end you're like, yes, of course, I need leopard and lace. and you do want to be that person. And that person is Posh Spice, who I think is amazing, but I've never wanted to be before.
I've always loved Dolce Gabbana. I'm very good friends with Domenico and Stefano. So for me, it's always something that I'm very excited about. I love their clothes. So for me to just come and have a little sneak preview of what they're going to be doing next season is very, very exciting.
Sex, not subtlety, is the strength of the Southern Italian duo, especially when it comes to the hair and makeup.
We're doing very defined eye, playing with chocolate browns, taupes and beiges, and we're using false eyelashes. So, really and truly, we're not saying to everyone put on tons of false eyelashes, just add a lot of mascara. And then we're using a beige mouth. So it's a pulled together face with a natural skin. It's more the definition of the eye, the beautiful cheek. It's just womanly.
Sexy, full, glamorous hair. Basically, we've kind of put their heads upside down and blasted the roots with and put mousse on the hair. So it just gives you like an incredible amount of width, and it lets a lot of air in the hair. So when they walk, their hair will just like float.
I also thought it was very Dolce & Gabbana. It was filled with sex and in your face and their best underwear mixed with their best suits. It was a classic Dolce show that didn't seem to get too lost.
I loved Dolce today. I thought it was one of the most energetic, most fabulous shows I've seen really all season, including New York. The animal prints came off strong, the silhouettes and the jackets came off strong, but it was wonderfully balanced. You just saw this, they almost reached a new level during this show.
I thought there were some fantastic flourishes in the Dolce show. I love the big sort of rustic hats with the bits of, I guess, some sort of skin around them or something. I loved all the extravagance of the gestures, the hats. I love the flatness of the shoes. I mean, to see a flat shoe at Dolce was really exciting.
I just loved the way it was styled, the armfuls of bracelets and the mix of natural textures, crocodile, sexy dresses mixed with raffia and lace, and they're such experts at taking all these disparate elements and putting them together in a sexy theatrical show. I'm a big fan.
I don't think there is anybody that cuts like Dolce Gabbana. I'm quite pregnant at the moment. It's fantastic. I mean, the cuts are absolutely fantastic. They're very sexy, very cool, very edgy. And I'm just a huge fan.